Welcome back. We have been talking about poet and the poetry and his great work. Mr. Brajendra Nath Chaudhuri is with us this evening, and we are enjoying his poetry. This book, A Poet's Timeline on World War II. You were born sometime during the World War II, is it?
Yes,
Yes.
just I born.
Tell us something about what is this book about?
This book, A Poet's Timeline on World War II. I was researching and reading books on wars, First World War, Second World War, and so many books. But I realized there's a bulk of work on war are so much, and so many books are there, so you can't finish all this. And the colossal story of the World War I, II from on World War II 1937 to 1945. So I have addressed from 1937 when Japan attacked China, and from there, so I addressed in this book 53 war poems in this book, as well as a calendar format on main headings from 1937 to 1945, it only 20 pages. And you can see on main headings of the World War when Britain attack Germany or German attack Russia, all those main heading stuff is here.
Great. Can we move on to your another book?
Thank you.
Another very interesting book, might I add, My Mind Dart on Idea Plane. Well, it's a long title, but probably this is the longest poem. This book has been reviewed by a lot of people, and it's said it's a very interesting collection of poems which looks at various places, facets and scenarios within the East End of London. Also, the World War II and the geographical experience. It's an amazing book of poems, marriage of technology and man's inner self. Now, the book is in your hand. We would like to know, what is the main idea? And technology is there, and London is there, and West End is there, and World War II is there. It's a huge canvas.
It is an epic journey through the learning library. One day, one of the library assistant, her name is Natasha Baddeley, she asked me to write a book, write a poem on about the library. I was going to write a poem about the library, and then I thought, am I fool or what? How can I write a poem about a library? Then I found it is not a library. Every place, city has a library. It is a learning vessel is existing in the city corner, in the city villages, in the city towns. So it is a cruise vessel of learning library. So I made a journey from the children's section to fiction, non-fiction, travel, tourism, war, history, poems, arts, and technology, science, computers. So all these sections are addressed in poems. So this poetical journey is through the learning library from the ground floor to the top floor.
Yeah, this was in 2014, is it?
It was in 2015.
15. Right. We have another very interesting book that you have, The Composed Night, about Winnie Mandela and Nelson Mandela. What's it about? It's called the play.
This book is the play, The Composed Night. The Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela, because you know Nelson Mandela had to appear the South African High Court, and he was either to be hanged or imprisoned severely. So in that context, the spending husband and wife spending the night before the day of final trial. That night, they both of them spending the night with two daughters, Ninji and Ninani. So this is in the whole night they rehearsing their past, present, and
Right.
future of their own life, and the history of African people, South African
Right.
people.
From the
and so
very loving life story of Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela,
Thank you.
we move to something which is more present. She and he in Flower of Love. Today is the 10th, and on 14th is the Valentine Day. Whatever that means to a lot of people, a lot of young hearts.
Thank you.
But I would like you to read something from there and also tell us what made you write these
Because
poems.
she and he in Flower of Love. In this book, I tried to make a sweet gender relation
Right.
between male and female. In this gender relation, how we can delicately treat, rehearse, love each other in such a simple, romantic, and fantastic way to present ourselves. So from here, the 14th is the Valentine's Day. So I am reading a poem.
Right.
You can see how sweet this language and so lovely poem. Happy Valentine's Day.
We have about 3 minutes. Please.
One flower, one love, one life, that's for you, Smita. That's true. True. Promise. Happy Valentine's Day with happy mode of love. Yours truly, from an unknown messenger.
Can we have some more?
Thank you indeed. My moon has come into sight. This is the second poem. Love glows with rhythms, beats are on, rim jim, anklets on tad, din tak. Light and shadow put the sports on, darling, oh, swing she in heart. The heart of mine keeps on nodding, joins it with the rhythmic lyrics of the peacock dancing. My cheering heart sings in the glittering glares of her moonlit face. The third poem, Past Love, Past Emotion. Darling, past sight, past light, you know all. Teardrops fall through eyeball, that's all. Getting to you, past love, past call. Aroma blows in the spring love of love to open the nipple bud, the fragrance to deliver in your heart sky. Tree leaves murmur, those are
Beautiful.
yet to speak.
Beautiful, Mr.
Thank
Chaudhuri.
you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you, viewers, for being with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as we have. And on this very tender note, sweet note, and lovely note of this poetry of love and romance and very tender feelings, we wish you have a very happy Valentine's Day. We also wish you to have a very happy February. The 21st February is coming, the International Language Day. Next week, we'll have another distinguished guest, as usual. Have a safe weekend.